Howdy class, today we will start by taking a splash into the water cycle. Let's start by taking a brief look at the complete water cycle. The cool thing with cycles is you can start wherever you want and get back to that starting place. If we start with evaporation, we move to condensation, and then to precipitation. After the water falls to the earth, it will then become runoff, where it will settle in the bottom of a body of water and then evaporate again to start the cycle over. There are also other paths that water can take while traveling the water cycle, and we will travel some of these during our field trip. We will now move up into the clouds to prepare for our field trip through the water cycle. As we wait in the clouds, we have many potential forms of water we can become, including snow, freezing rain, hail, and rain. Any water form that falls from the sky is considered precipitation. For our field trip, we will be falling to the ground as a rain droplet. To reach the ground, we will tumble down the mountaintop as runoff until we drain into the stream. While traveling down, we might pick up some dirt and other particles, but we should be fine in the end. The stream we were catching a ride in will then merge with a creek at the bottom of the mountain that will then flow into the nearby lake. Once we are in the lake, we will wait there with the fish and other water animals, along with the pollutants, until it is time for us to move on in the water cycle. While we are waiting in the lake, we can really feel the sun beating down on us, and we're starting to really feel the heat. As we are waiting on top of the lake, we begin to transform into water vapor, and we evaporate into the sky. As we move higher into the sky, we begin to condensate with the other water droplets in the sky to form a cloud. Here is where we can start our journey over again and fall back to the earth as precipitation. But wait, remember at the beginning when we were looking at an overview of the water cycle and we discussed other paths that water can take? Here's our chance to travel a different path in the water cycle. We will begin our journey back in the lake, but this time, instead of being evaporated into the sky, we will be soaked up into the soil. As we sink lower into the ground, we infiltrate the soil, which means we become groundwater, which is used by people when we dig wells. People aren't the only ones that use groundwater. Plants do too. Plant roots travel down into the soil and absorb the groundwater to survive. The water travels from the roots to the trunk and then to the leaves. Now that we, the water, have made it up to the leaves, we can feel the heat of the sun all over again, and we transpire back into the air. Once we are in the air, we condense with the other water droplets back into a cloud and start the water cycle all over again. We have completed the water cycle again. Let's look back over the complete cycle. Here we can see that no matter which path we take, the water travels in a complete cycle. So does this mean that the same water that we use today was on the earth millions of years ago? I don't know. What do you think? Hopefully, we can now track water as it travels through the water cycle. Here are the important vocab words from this field trip that you need to know in order to do the rest of today's activities.